Hello, soul sister. We've got another great episode, of course, and we're talking about manifesting. Who doesn't want to know more about manifesting? And we have Alicia Berberich in the house. Alicia, I am so excited to have you here. Thanks for slicing out some time for us.
Oh, I'm excited to be here and talk about my favorite subject.
It's kind of one of my favorite subjects too. I mean, we live on this planet where we have, for a short period of time, we're in these bodies, we're having an experience. And if we have dreams that we can't manifest, that kind of sucks. So being able to know how to do it well and to really live fully, I mean, that's your specialty. And in a way, that's my specialty because I'm always helping people manifest more love and quality lives. So I can't wait to hear what you have to offer today. Let me let them know a little bit about you first. So Alicia is passionate about helping women unleash their true potential to become what they are meant to become. She works with women to release the shackles that bind them to their old ways of thinking so they can achieve their goals. Alicia uses motivation, mindset, and manifesting skills to provide the resources her clients need to move forward with confidence and gusto. I love that, the gusto, because it's not, it's like, yes, right? Yes.
Yes. You're
So
creating
cool.
what you want. It needs to be exciting.
Right? Because, if it's not exciting, why go for it,
Right. Yeah.
And yet it might be exciting for them, but it still might get in there. Something might be getting in their way and they're not achieving it. So we're going to dive in. But first, I think a good place to start is, some people are like goals. I have these goals. And as we're actually recording right before the new year. People are watching it in the new year. But bottom line is, we're in 2024 for those of you that are watching, and you might be like, I've got all these goals. And yet there's a little bit of a difference, or maybe a lot of a difference, of manifesting and goal setting. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah. Thank you for asking, because that is exactly how I got into manifesting as a part of my practice, because I have been doing workshops on goal setting and accountability for years with the women's in the Bay Area, live workshops. And we would work really hard and set goals, and they would be so excited. And then we would follow up every 90 days with the program, and they would accomplish some things, but they would get off track. And so I was looking for a better tool to really help keep the women on track so that they can really achieve the things that they decided were really important to them, and not let all the little things in life that tend to take over, especially, when you're trying to find love or, have bigger dreams. When those things take over, how can you really stay focused on what you want? And manifesting is so perfect for that. So once you have your goal, then that's great. And then creating the visualization to tie into that, but really aligning your energy, that whole part of manifesting really helps them stay on track. But having a manifesting practice really helps them to stay with their goal all year long so they can really accomplish what they want to accomplish.
That makes so much sense. So they have the North Star, so to speak, and then there's the journey to it and staying on track.
A daily practice.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that people don't realize is it does take practice. It does take consciousness. It does take alignment, that's the word that I usually use, to be able to move forward. And yet sometimes people have a hard time moving forward and they're not getting the results that they want. They want to manifest something, but it's just not working. So what's that about, and how do people move forward with that?
Well, this is something I'm sure that you're very familiar with the work you do with limiting beliefs, because that deals with the saboteur aspect. And we have internal saboteurs and we have external saboteurs. And the internal saboteur is the inner critic that we have, or I call it the negative voice in the head that just starts playing. As soon as you start getting close to something you really want, then the negative voice comes in and says, you're not worth it. You're not good enough. Who do you think you are playing in this game? You're always going to be alone. Yeah. And it just plays these old tapes that kill you. And it's just learning a process to deal with that so that you don't get stumbled up by that and let that be a roadblock for you. I have a simple 5-step program that I do, the accelerator program, to help them overcome those internal beliefs. Just to be aware of it, because many people hear this negative voice in their head and they don't even know that it's not them that's talking. It's this voice, this separateness inside of them So to be aware and to acknowledge the voice, because it was there to protect you. So acknowledge it and then appreciate it,
Oh,
because
wait,
it
wait,
was
wait, wait. I want to pause there for a second because
okay.
you just
Okay.
laid down something that some people might be like, I understand, but I want to, the inner critic's there to protect you. Like, I know that, but what do you know? Somebody might be going, protect me. It's hurting me. It's
Right.
keeping me from my dreams. What do you mean, protect me? Can you
Yeah.
explain a little bit about that?
That voice came about from when you were between 0 and 7 years old, and your brain wavelengths worked at such a level that information came in, but didn't have an analytical mind, so you couldn't analyze what was coming in. So you say something very reasonable to you, don't cross the street, and then you think, okay, don't cross the street. But you see other people crossing the street, and then you think, oh, how come they can cross the street, but I can't cross the street? Like, am I not good enough to cross the street? So then you get that I'm not good enough feeling. And then it becomes generalized from crossing the street to all different other areas of your life. And it's that inner critic that was originally supposed to keep you safe, but now is holding you in this tight comfort zone that's limiting your growth potential and opportunities.
Exactly. And I mean, like you said, there's, we have a similar look on these things. And so a strategy to keep one safe when they were younger was smart. However, if they internalized it and kept it going, then suddenly their comfort zone, their ability to take chances can be very, very
Right. Those are the
small.
shackles that I talk about. Yeah. The shackles.
Yeah.
So
So,
that's the
yeah,
big internal component of the saboteurs. And then the external component comes in two different ways. One way is environmental. Your environment is set up as a way that it's really limiting you from the growth that you want. Maybe you have too much clutter and you can't think clearly, or you're all different kinds of things that come up in the environment. And then the second one is the social one, because as I'm sure you know, we become like the 5 people we hang out with. I mean, Jim Rohn said that many years ago, and we don't think about it, but we hang around these people, we hear their voices, and it can be very negative inputs that's really grounding us down. And also these other people, friends and family, see you in a certain light. And if you're trying to grow and change and evolve, these other people want you to stay the way they know you and understand you. So they become a negative force for holding you back from your growth. So you really need to be able to cut those kind of relationships or limit that kind of exposure to that negative environment so you can grow and become the person you want to be, to attract the love that you want in your life.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that also ties into what you were saying about the practice, the daily practice, because there are certain people that you may not want to cut out of your life. There are certain family members that are going
Right.
to be in your life. And, one of the things I know for certain people that are energetically in a different place than me, let's just say, that if I know I'm going to spend a lot of time with them, I make sure that I am in that right minded place. I've filled up my heart. My practice was solid. Otherwise, it can very much impact how I'm feeling. And then maybe I start to overeat because that was my slippery slope years ago, until I learned how to do a daily practice to fill up my own cup. So I deeply appreciate you mentioning the 5 people in Jim Rohn, of course. So smart. So you're talking about 2 different types of saboteurs, the internal one and the external one. Anything else you want to add about the saboteurs and how to work with them?
Well, yeah, because once you are aware of the saboteur and acknowledge it, then like, especially for the internal saboteur, you need to appreciate what it has to offer. Thank you for trying to protect me. I understand that you're trying to protect me, but then tune that volume down so that it's not this main giant force in your head, but it's something you can put in the background, and then take an action step forward into courage. And I think a lot of people get stuck in fear of making changes and things, but courage isn't acting without fear. Courage is feeling the fear and acting anyway, as Brene Brown taught us. So
Yeah.
feeling fearful, it's okay. And another thing I really like to point out to people is fear and excitement show up the same way in your body. It looks the same.
Thank you for bringing this up. Yeah.
So when you're feeling fearful, just reframing that into excitement, like I'm I'm afraid to go on this date, or I'm nervous to meet this man, but think, well, I'm excited. It's a new opportunity. Just taking that same label and relabeling it makes a
Yeah.
huge difference.
And again, I want to underline that whole awareness thing. It's like to be able to go, I'm feeling fear. Am I feeling fear, or am I just feeling some energy that I've titled as fear? And might it actually be something else? And that takes time. We're bumping up against many, many eons of programming and that old brain saying, oh, something new here, you're in danger. And to be
Right.
able to go, oh, wait a second, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just really excited right now that we need to rebuild and slow down and take some breaths to kind of go, wait a second, I can still make a move, even if I'm feeling fear. And for those that are listening, I just did some air quotes. Okay, let's get back to manifesting. So some people love the word, think, wow, I really want to manifest something great in my life or manifest a great life. But sometimes they have a really hard time defining what it is they actually really want. So, how might you work with someone like that? What would
Mhm.
you offer to them?
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say that everyone is manifesting things all the time, and it's happening at a subconscious level. And what I really want to do is to bring it up to the conscious level so people can direct the life with what they want to do. And I
Yeah.
think that will make a huge difference. And when you want to manifest, it's really focusing on aligning your energy and thoughts and behavior, your actions with the universe and what's going on, so that everything is in alignment and working together. So if you are trying to manifest, for instance, love in your life, you're trying to find the perfect partner for you, really having a clear idea of what that kind of partner looks like is important. And what I tried to talk to my clients about is to have like a good, better, and best. Like, it would be great if he lived in New York City and had a car. Like, that would be amazing. And then, oh, well, a better one was if he lived in New York City and had a car and had a weekend house. Well, that would be nice too. And then the best part was he lives close to me and has a car and has a weekend house, and he really loves my dog. So it would be perfect.
All right,
So
where is he?
yeah, exactly. Like, really thinking about the different levels of what's acceptable and what's,
Yeah.
over the top amazing, so that you have something to really think about.
So again, it comes back to getting really clear about what you want, that goal, and manifesting. And you just said a word that is huge, certainly in my body of work, which is the unconscious, bringing the unconscious up to the conscious. Because for those that talk law of attraction, they might be like, well, I know what I want. I know I want the guy with the loving dog and the car, and maybe cooks and gives great massages and makes a shit ton of money. Like I know who I want, right? However, they're having trouble finding anyone. They're having a hard time on their dates. The saboteurs are everywhere, getting in their way. So here we are, law of attraction. This is what I want. But the universe, again, air quotes, guys, is not giving you what you're saying you want. And there's the unconscious component that is at play. So I would love to hear more about how you view that. Because you just said, get really, really clear. But as we know, the universe is hearing the 95% of the unconscious brain and not making it happen.
Yeah. And a lot of times it comes with what you say you want versus what you're willing to accept for yourself. So remember, the universe is a mirroring universe. And so the way we perceive ourselves and how we are, then the universe gives us back with what we put out there. So if you want somebody who's at a higher level than where you currently are now, you're aspiring to something big, then you have to pull yourself up to that level so this new person can meet you on that energetic frequency.
Yeah,
So
you have to be at that level. You need to be the person that to vibe with that. So there is that mirror.
right. And a lot of times, like, I've worked with people and they say, well, this is what I want. And then I talk to them more and I realize, okay, you want this relationship, but you're so busy with everything you do all day. Where are you going to fit this relationship in? Or you say you want to live in lover, but like, there is no space in your closet. So where's that person going to fit in your life? So really
Mm.
sure that what you're talking about and saying that you want, there's space and room in your life for that, so that it really does fit in. Because as you prepare yourself for that relationship, then the universe knows that you're ready and you are in a place where you can accept that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm in total agreement with you for sure. You know, I work with someone. I have a year-long program called Midlife Love Unleashed, and it's all about helping women have quality second half of life, whether they have a partner or not. And if they're wanting a partner, I bring in a love feng shui person, and she talks about, what does your bedroom look like? Do you have pictures of couples, or do you have a picture of a single woman? Do you have pictures of your dead animals, or do like, what's in, where is everything, and what are you calling in? And so there is that external that you're talking about. There's also that vibing, being who you want to have as a mirror. I'm curious what your take is on, because we're talking about limiting beliefs. If somebody has had a lot of challenges in their life where they've been hurt, they've been shamed, they got those messages at a young age of they're not good enough or something's wrong with them, where does that fit in your model of manifesting?
Well, if people have really hard issues of trauma in their past, of course, I always recommend therapy as a way to go. I'm not a therapist in that area. But I work with limiting beliefs in terms of trying to uncover the blind spots of what you're dealing with. And once someone just brings something to the surface and look, it becomes so obvious. And then you're like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. So really talking to them to really ground them in who they are as a person. In the kind of coaching work I do, the whole first half of the program is really to get comfortable with you. We don't even talk about what it is you're trying to aspire to, but it's becoming really grounded in your core values and what those are. So you know them, really becoming grounded in your strengths and everything that you bring to the party, how
Yeah.
you work in these situations so that you become whole with who you are, so that when you're trying to have a relationship, you're coming as a whole person. You're not looking for half of yourself. You're coming whole, and you want to meet someone who's also whole. So you're not compromising yourself to meet with that person.
Well said. Beautiful, beautiful. So we're talking universe, we're talking manifesting. What kind of signs might the universe be sending if it's the right kind of love for you? What would you say about that?
I think the signs, of course, depend on the person, but when synchronicities sort of line up, like you run into the same person multiple times, maybe the universe is trying to tell you something, or he just casually mentions a movie and it happens to be your favorite movie. Like there's little signs along the way where you're like, oh, so it just kind of piques your interest and you're like, huh. So then that really is helps to set you up and get your energy, and then it gives you something in that you can connect with and bond with, and it just gives you little signs along the way, like, oh, this is interesting. And but just as well, you have to pay attention to the signs that are telling you, like, maybe this isn't the one. Like,
Yeah, go the
don't
other
really
way.
pay
This
attention
isn't
to it.
right.
Yeah, all those kind of things you have to pay attention to. So
Yeah, I mean, I also think, with the signs that aren't so enjoyable, I always say, look at what the universe is presenting. Because if you're attracting a lot of a lot of people of a certain characteristic that you don't like, there's something going on. Like,
right.
what is it that needs to be healed within you? What is it that you're trying to shift inside of you, because the universe is giving to you the mirror of something within yourself. So I deeply underline everything you just said.
And even just talking about your limiting beliefs, bringing them from the unconscious to the conscious level and verbalizing them and understanding them helps you address them and figure out what you need to do with them. So it's
Yeah.
just when it's inside and it's sort of gnawing at you and you have this feeling that something's not right, and just understanding what it is
Yeah.
gives you strength and courage to move forward.
So true. Knowledge is so amazing, especially when you know yourself really, really well. And listen, like, to really listen to your intuition. If something doesn't feel right, it's like this is you. This is your body speaking. This is something that is a guide.
Yeah.
So you talked about a practice, a manifesting practice. Can you give our listeners some idea of what that might look like?
Yeah, I think manifesting is something that you can incorporate. Everyone talks about the miracle morning, or, your morning routine, and just having something where even when you're lying in bed, before you wake up, before you climb out of bed, you are awake, of course, just thinking about the energy of what it will feel like to have this perfect partner and how you will be in that situation. And in order to draw that energy into your body to make it a part of who you are, you don't have to have experienced it yourself exactly that way. You could have seen a relationship in a movie that was idyllic and something that you really aspired to, or seen a man in a movie or read about it in a book or something like that. So you can take how you feel or how you felt when you were watching the movie or reading the book, and then bring that feeling into your body so it fills you up. So you have that feeling within you of what it's like to have the type of person that you're aspiring to, so that you have that's like taking you up to the level of energy that you want to be for your day. So bringing that in every morning really helps to get you in the right sort of mind frame, that they call it mind frame, so that you're going out there feeling like this is possible. This is, I have these kind of relationships in my life. This is the kind of person I am. So doing that every morning, and then really being in gratitude, I always say, write 3 gratitude statements every day. And I really like to talk to people about how they're writing their gratitude statements, because it's a 2-part prong from what I've seen in the success that I've had. The first part you use in present tense as an I am statement. I'm so happy to be in this wonderful relationship where we're meeting as equals and enjoying each other. And then the second part is the because statement. And that's really tying your emotional bond to the gratitude statement. I'm so happy to be in this relationship because now I can be the best they can and give my best self to the world, or whatever it is. So you have the I am present statement, and then the because part. So that
Nice.
really helps with that. And then taking inspired action every day. I say take 3 inspired actions. 3 is like a magical number for me. I really love things in 3s.
Uh-huh.
So take 3 inspired actions every day, because then you're working towards what you want, and then the universe sees you working towards what you want and then can deliver on that. And then watching
Yeah.
for the signs and signals. And another big part is really navigating, because what happens when we're really working on a goal, we get distracted by other goals that are easier to accomplish, and they take us off our track. So with one client I was working on, she was trying to find this great relationship, and then she got sidetracked by this other relationship, which wasn't right for her and wasn't really what she wanted. So just being aware of that and, talking it over, it really helps.
So good. Great, great, great tips. And I also want to underline the whole feeling it thing. I follow Dr. Joe Dispenza. Are you familiar with Dr. Joe?
Yeah, I love Dr. Joe.
Yeah. And his big thing, or one of his things, is pulling the future faster to the present by feeling it as if it were so now. And
Right.
I think there's such gold there, because if it feels like it's, if you don't believe it, if there's a part of you that resists it, how on earth can we see it? How on earth can we allow it to come in? And if we could, the body is going to go where the mind goes, and if we can train our body to really own it, live it, breathe it, feel it as if it were so, it just
Exactly.
makes so much sense that we're going to mirror it that much faster.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, so good, so good. I know you have a really cool manifesting program that you are going to gift people. Can you share a little bit about it?
Yeah, it's hard to build a new habit and change your ways of being. So what I put together is a 30-day manifesting program, and it's an email program. It goes over in the beginning, it goes over about how to manifest. And then each day you get a little story about manifesting and a quote, and then a list of all the things you can just check off to make sure you're doing them to get your manifest on the right track. And it's basically to build the habit of manifesting.
Love it. Love it. Because it's a muscle, and it's just, yeah, staying on the beam and moving forward and taking some inspired actions and all the things you shared. Hot stuff, hot
Yeah.
stuff, hot
Yeah.
stuff. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This was great. Yeah, because, these women that are listening and watching, they're like, yes, I really, really want something different in my life. And these are really important steps to take, and being aware of what's going on between our ears and our external environment. Huge, huge, huge. So thank
And
you,
just know
Alicia.
that as you work on yourself and bring yourself up to that level, that the universe is also working and everything happens in divine time. and the right person will come at the right time for you, and you will be so thrilled.
Thank you for adding that as well, because there is so much truth there. We plan and spirit laughs. We
Yeah.
do what we think, hey, I'm doing all the right things. And then there's the journey and the mystery. So let us continue to do this work for ourselves and then surrender to how it's all going to unfold, because it is not in our time. It is in spirit's time. And I'm really grateful that you brought that piece in. So thank you for your time. This was so wonderful. I really appreciate you.
So fun. You have such great energy and really make all this learning so fun. I'm so happy to share.
Oh, thank you. All right, that's our episode for today. I'm sure you've been inspired. Go grab her 30-day program. The link is in the show notes. And until I see you again, one more thing before you go. Have you taken my Discover Your Love Avatar quiz? It's a 2-minute quiz that can help you not only know your strengths, your superpower, because you have one, also identify some of your blind spots, some of the things that might be having you in your fear, having you behaving in ways that aren't in alignment with your highest self, the way you want to be when it comes to dating and relationships. And it'll also help you discover why maybe the stars haven't lined up for you yet. Bottom line is, you take this 2-minute quiz, you get a full report in your email with details on how to move forward in next level love, whether you want a partner or not. So you can go to midlifeloveoutloud.com/love quiz. The link is in the show notes as well. And if you haven't liked and subscribed to the station, I'm going to encourage you to do that too, so you don't miss any episodes. And I hope you got a ton out of today's. See you next week. Mwah.